delighted to say I'm joined by Casey Stoney ahead of the game on Saturday. And Casey, just checking out the pitch, it's going to be a pretty special moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Looking at it, it looks like a carpet. So I'm definitely saying none of my players would be blaming the pitch for anything in terms of first touch. But I think it's a momentous occasion for the club, for the players. But ultimately, it's a game we want to win.
Absolutely. And what is the mood going into that game on Saturday?
I think really positive. Obviously, we're disappointed with the result last week, knowing that Champions League qualification is now out of our hands. So there is an element of disappointment, but I think this team is about bouncing back, and what an occasion to bounce back to.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about West Ham then. They've had a pretty difficult season so far, really sitting at the bottom of the WSL table. Of course, they do have that game in hand as well. How do you see their season going so far? What do you make of what they've done?
I think they'll be disappointed, but having said that, every time we've played West Ham, they've given us a difficult game. And I don't expect any less. And it's always difficult to play against a team that's fighting for their lives, fighting for survival. So we're going to have to be at our very best. We have to move the ball very well. We have to be really positive. But this is a game we should be going into with full confidence and belief that we can win.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned there, they've got some really experienced players as well. Emily Van Egmond getting on the score sheet quite a lot as well. Gilly Flatty as well, really experienced player. What do you see them coming into this game as, and how do you think they're going to approach it?
Listen, they'll want to play here as much as we do. It's a big occasion for both teams. I think they'll approach it, that they'll be hard to break down. They've got a lot of physical threats in their team. If they put the ball in our box, we're going to have to be defensively very good. Try to give away as fewer set pieces as we can, because we know they're dangerous. And I think they'll come here with a point to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the last time we met them, we won 4-2. The goals are flying in everywhere, weren't they? Of course, West Ham also got a couple against us as well. What can you take away from that game? Because it was a great game to watch for the neutral, as well as being a United supporter.
I think we took away that if we attacked and we got it into the right areas, we could score goals, and we did that day. But also I think we learnt a lot in terms of when they put the ball in our box, structurally how we need to be to defend crosses, and I think we've improved a lot since then. Yeah,
absolutely. And going into this game then, what do you want to see from your side going into this one? Because of course a different pitch really, isn't it? And it is a home game, but you're at the theatre of dreams.
I want them to express themselves. I want them to be brave. I want them to be bold. I want them to play exciting football. I want them to do that knowing that we can defend very well. We're not going to turn the ball over in silly areas. We're going to defend when they've got it. We're going to stop the transition when we can. And when we've got it, I want them to be as creative as possible and get themselves in the final third and enjoy scoring goals.
And looking back at the game against Arsenal then, is this a real chance to bounce back from that result? Because looking at the game, the first half we had our chances and looked like the side that we're going to, could have got a goal in there. But what can you take away from that game going into this one?
I think we came away from that game so disappointed. Not because we lost, but we weren't outplayed. We actually used the ball really well in the first half. We created really good chances. We have to take away that when we're in our final third, we have to have a cutting edge, we have to have a clinical edge, we have to finish our chances, because at that level it's fine margins, and we conceded too early. I have to say, in terms of that, I thought it was poor from us, but then I thought the response from the team was brilliant, and I thought we dominated Arsenal for large periods of the game. We have to be better in the final third.
And is that something that you really work on with the players as well, just keeping up that determination to keep going throughout the season, especially when things get tough?
I think at this club you're never beaten. You should never be beaten, and I think they showed that on Friday night, despite not obviously getting a goal. They never gave up, they've always got fight. And you're going to need that. For the next 5 games, we need maximum points to even have a chance.
Well, we saw the return of Kristen and Lauren obviously coming back from injury, and they had a good spell of that game as well. Question that you obviously don't like to answer all the time, Casey, but what is the team looking like shaping up for this one on Saturday?
Well, everybody's as fit as they were last Friday this week, so that's pleasing. And we've come through the week without any injuries. So, it gives me a headache in terms of a team selection, but I have to say I thought the team performed really well last Friday. So, it is for me to decide what I need out there to make sure that we can win the game.
And I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of competition, isn't there, to try and get that starting place as well. And of course, as you say, they're called game changers, aren't they, for a reason as well. But I'm sure the competitiveness in training has been upped a little bit this week.
Yeah, everyone wants to play, and that's no different every week. Everybody wants to play, but certain games for certain players, and that's the same this week. And our game changers always make a difference, and they'll be no different this Saturday.